Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. And today, guys, we are here for a review slash showcase of Scream Factory's latest 4K title. You can probably tell what I'm getting ready to talk about by my shirt. Creepshow on 4K has finally arrived. So I got this one in a full week early because I did pre-order this 4K from Scream Factory back in, I believe, March or April when it was announced. I was so excited when this was announced, and it got the alternate slipcover artwork as well that I just had to be a sucker, and I had to pre-order all the extras off the website because I wanted to get it in early. I wanted to talk about it and be one of the first people to lay my eyes on this gorgeous movie in 4K. So we're going to be talking about this movie, guys. I'm going to be breaking down the 4K picture quality, talking about the audio, special features, all that good stuff. Again, I got some extras with this. I didn't go crazy. I didn't get lobby cards for an extra $60. I didn't get pins for an extra $120. I didn't get all those extra packages. I just got the basic package with the extra slipcover. But I'm pretty happy with what I got. And again, I watched this last night. We're getting ready to talk about it. But before we do that, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We talk about physical media here on this channel. Blu-rays, 4Ks, owning the movies that you love, all that stuff there behind me every single day here on this channel. So if you like that kind of thing, hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to like this video and then comment down below, guys, what do you think of the movie Creepshow? Let me know in that comment section below. Are you going to get this 4K release, or are you just okay with the Blu-ray that came out back in 2018? Because this is a spectacular box set right here of Creepshow and Scream Factory. I wish they would do more stuff like this. They just don't, but this is one of the nicest box sets that Scream Factory's ever come out with. And I remember pre-ordering this one when it was announced as well, because again, I'm just a fan of Creepshow. Now, admittedly, and I'm going to get into talking about the movie here real quick, I grew up watching Creepshow, but I only watched it maybe once or twice when I was a kid. I was a Creepshow 2 kid. I loved rewatching Creepshow 2. I probably rewatched this one like 20 times versus 1 or 2 with the original Creepshow. Because I love the raft sequence, like that little like tar blob in the water. Like that was my favorite like sequence in all of these movies. So I used to rewatch Creepshow 2 like all the time when I was a kid. A few years ago when I watched this, when I bought this one on Blu-ray with a 4K scan from Scream Factory, I really learned to appreciate this movie for the masterpiece, the horror anthology masterpiece that it is. Now, again, I do love Creepshow 2. I've got a lot of nostalgia for it, but I will say objectively, this is the best Creepshow movie, and just watching it last night further confirms that fact. There's 5 segments in this movie, kind of with one segment wrapping around all 5, as a good anthology usually does. So I'd say it's like 6 stories in one movie, whereas Creepshow 2 is like 3 stories in one movie. So there's more stuff to dig your teeth into in this movie. I will say this about it, like the first 3 segments I think are near perfection, which makes up the first hour of the movie. I love the first one, the Father's Day sequence. I love the one with Stephen King and the meteor coming down, and I love To Tide You Over with Ted Danson and Leslie Nielsen. That one is fantastic and probably the best one in this movie, if I'm being completely honest. I do love Father's Day, and I do love the Stephen King meteor one for sure, but To Tide You Over is like a legitimate like masterpiece, and I think that Leslie Nielsen gives like one of his best performances. I love the Naked Gun movies, but he gives one of his best performances of his entire career in that segment. I love that segment so much. So after that, I do like the crate. I do like the crate a lot. But the crate is very long. The crate is like 35 minutes. So it kind of loses its footing a little bit. I don't think it's quite as engaging because you're going through all of these movies like so quick. It's like 15, 20 minutes on every single one. And then you get to the crate and things just slow down dramatically. And I do like Hal Holbrook in that one, and Adrienne Barbeau's in that one, so it's got some star power for sure, but it's so long that it feels like it just takes too long to get to the point. It's almost like a full-length movie, it feels like at times when you're watching it. And then the last one, not the strongest, but thankfully that's the shortest segment, and directed by the legendary George A. Romero, who did all of the zombie movies, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. And he also directed Creepshow. And these were also written, the short stories written by Stephen King. So that's like a match made in heaven right there. You got Stephen King, you got George A. Romero. Whenever you get Stephen King cross over with like one of the greatest like horror filmmakers of all time, like you know you're gonna get absolute gold, and that is what Creepshow is to me. Such a great movie. I love the style of it as well, because it's kind of like in a comic book style. Like pretty much the climax of every single one of these short stories ends in like this comic book style type of like cinematography. And it looks spectacular. And again, it looks great in 4K. We'll get to that here in a second. But Creepshow, I absolutely love this movie. It came out in 1982, and I think it's one of the greatest horror movies of the 80s. I would honestly say maybe top 5, definitely top 10 horror movies of the 1980s. It's a real gem. Like if you haven't seen Creepshow, and I don't know why I'm holding up this Blu-ray box set. I'm not reviewing the Blu-ray box set. I'm reviewing the 4K right here. But you know, I got all kinds of Creepshows here, guys. I got the Blu-ray, I got the 4K, I got this other slipcover, I got this Arrow video version right here. We're talking Creepshow here today. On the Mid-Level Media channel, so I hope you guys are here for it. But yeah, that's Creepshow. Let's get into the unboxing portion of it, and then we'll finish things off talking about the picture quality. But let me show off this cover right here. This is the classic poster of Creepshow, and look, I wasn't sure how I felt about it at first, but the more and more of these I'm seeing from Screen Factory, the more I love it. I love the fact that they went back to the old classic poster art for their 4Ks. I love a good commission artwork like this right here. And again, like another one we'll talk about here in a second, but you just can't beat the classic. Like this is the classic poster art for Creepshow, and it looks fantastic. So I love it with a 4K banner at the top. And then we'll turn it over right here. On the back, you have the synopsis. You got a pull quote at the top. You got all the special features, which this thing is just jam-packed full of special features. You got some images from the different segments at the bottom right there. I think that you know, shows off all 5 of the segments. And I just love it. Like To Tide You Over is so freaking good. Like the makeup work on that is just freaking awesome. And then you got the casting list down below. And then we'll break into this. I'll show off the 4K case right here. We'll show off the back. And this does actually have, and this is a 2-disc set as well, where this Blu-ray right here is just a 1-disc. So this is just the one Blu-ray in this set, and this is a 2-disc set. So you do get the Blu-ray, which is the same Blu-ray that was released back in 2018. It's still a 4K scan, still has all the special features on it as well. Now they did split up the special features, and I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the special features while I'm on it, but they did split up the special features. Like some of the special features are on the 4K and some of the special features are on the Blu-ray. But when you look at the back, it actually doesn't really say that. It says that all the special features are on the Blu-ray, which that's not the case, because when I popped in both of them, I found that half of them were on the 4K disc and the other half were on the Blu-ray. But some really great special features in here for sure. You got Terror in the Three Rivers, a roundtable discussion with actors John Amplas, Tom Atkins, and Mary Schniff, and Tom Savini. The comic book look, interview with costume designer Barbara Anderson. Ripped from the Pages, interview with animator Rick Catazone, which, yeah, I didn't even bring that up. Again, it's like comic book style, but then they kind of shift into these sequences of animation, which just looks incredible, just how they shift back and forth. And I love how they kind of pull back and go into the comic book. It has such a unique like style to it as well. Like all the segments are great. Like they're great like standalone horror stories, but just the style of the movie itself is just spectacular. This movie is truly unique. For sure. And then you got to look at the restoration. So they actually talk about the restoration of this with the cinematographer. So that's definitely pretty cool right there. I wish we would get more of that type of stuff, because I am more interested in like the restoration process. And I want to, in particular, like on the actual films that I'm watching, like I want to know how they did this and what the decision-making process behind this move was. So I wish we would get more of that type of stuff. So definitely cool that they have that here. And just tons, like this thing is just jam-packed full of special features. But going back into the actual packaging here, you do have the disc art on the 2 discs, the 4K and the Blu-ray. Great disc art right there. And you do get reversible cover art here, which is the exact same as this Blu-ray release, if I'm being, you know, honest. I'm pretty sure that this is the exact same. So this is the comic book cover of the comic that the kid's reading in the movie. Tom Atkins' son, and then you got, you know, this on the back as well. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, that's the exact same, because when you open this up, like you have that original poster on the inside, then the reversible cover art is that image as well. So they didn't really change anything with the actual, like, you know, artwork on the actual case itself with the 4K. So really great stuff. And then, of course, guys, I had to get this newly commissioned Creepshow artwork, this alternate slipcover. And the artwork on this was done by a guy named Mexi Funk, and he's on Instagram, he's on Twitter. So I did a reel showing this off as soon as I got it on Instagram and also on TikTok. And he saw it, and then he shared it to his account, and then he shouted me out on Twitter as well. So very cool. And then we kind of went back and forth in the DMs a little bit. So I was talking with the guy that was responsible for the awesome artwork of this Creepshow right here, this alternate slipcover Creepshow, the newly commissioned artwork. So that was really cool. So he's a great guy, just a really nice guy. Like, I was interacting with him back and forth, and he seemed like so grateful and genuinely appreciative of the fact that I would share his artwork on my page. So I thought that that was super cool. And I was like, yeah, man, of course. Like this is the kind of stuff that gets us excited as collectors, like this awesome artwork right here. So definitely the reason why I kind of sprung for the more expensive Creepshow set with the extra slipcover. But just great artwork right here by Mexi Funk. So just great stuff. I love it. I love that ghostly, like, skeleton character that shows up in the beginning as well, and he's holding the comic book. And then on the back, you have the Happy Father's Day. You have a couple of their images from the movies, some quotes right there. It's just great artwork, right in the style of the actual film itself and the cinematography. Just great stuff. And cover illustrator, his name is Orlando Arocena, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. If you're watching, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. But yeah, he goes by Mexi Funk on Instagram and Twitter. So definitely go check him out, follow him. I will try my best to remember to link him down below. But yeah, great artwork on that alternate cover art right there. I also got this little sticker decal thing right here. This came extra in the set. I'm surprised Scream Factory didn't charge me an extra 20 bucks to get this, but they didn't. It was included. And then, of course, when you always pre-order from Scream Factory, you get the posters. And because I got the extra slipcover, I got the posters for the original Scream Factory poster, and then also the alternate artwork done by Mexi Funk. So let's go ahead and show those off real quick, and I'll try to back up. And again, I did all this. I unboxed this on the channel in a little reel that I did on the channel, but I'll show them off again because I can't ever get like the full look of them. So this newly commissioned artwork is a horizontal poster right here. So I got to get a frame for this because, again, this is fantastic artwork. But I haven't gotten a horizontal poster since the Friday the 13th box set. And I hope you guys can see this okay. And all, it's just the slipcover artwork. Again, it's just kind of brought out in a poster. But it's not cooperating with me. All right, let me put this down here. Let me get the other poster. It's so hard to show off posters sometimes. Right there, guys. Look at that. Just incredible. Creepshow. I love it. I love that original poster artwork. But lastly, getting into the actual 4K restoration, because I'm sure that a lot of you all want to hear about how this looks on 4K and if it's worth upgrading over your Blu-ray if you already have this in your collection. So this is a native 4K restoration. It has Dolby Vision, it has HDR10. Now, like I said, this is a 4K scan that they did back in 2018, and it does have the Blu-ray with a 4K scan on here. So that looked really great. Back in the day, looked really awesome. That 4K scan was great, looked spectacular. And I thought to myself, how could they improve upon this? Well, when you add in HDR, guys, and then you add in on top of that Dolby Vision, like, you are looking at just a color palettes and a range of color like no other. And this is the movie right here to showcase that range of color, because there are so many incredible, bright, colorful sequences in this film. Like, I'm just thinking of Father's Day itself. When that zombie skeleton comes out of the grave, and the red lights are showing, and you see the red lights reflected on that skeleton. It looked incredible. Like, I'd never seen anything like it. Like, I'm watching this movie, I'm like, I cannot believe they did this in 1982. Like, this looks so amazing. Just the vision and the artistry behind it. It just looked incredible. And in 4K with that Dolby Vision, with that HDR, it enhanced it like infinitely beyond that Blu-ray. And I did pop in that Blu-ray to see how it compared, and there was no comparison. It looked, when I watched it back in the day, it looked extremely colorful, but compared to this, it looked pale in comparison. It paled in comparison to this 4K. It looked spectacular. And then you get to the sequence with Stephen King, and all the grass and the moss and stuff is growing on his skin and all around his house. Like the brightness of that color of the greens all looked incredible, just looked spectacular. To Tide You Over looked amazing on the beach. Just when Leslie Nielsen puts the TV down and he sees the TV with the ocean in the background, just when the creatures come out of the water, out of the ocean, and they got the moss and they got their green skin, and just the detail, guys, of the monsters and the creatures, like when they come out and they're all like pruny. And I never noticed this before watching this movie, but you can see they're all pruny because they've been underwater. And the greenness and the blueness of their skin, it just looked incredible. And then all the sequences in the crate, there's some red, and purple and blue colors in that as well when the werewolf creature comes out. And all that stuff looks amazing. Like there's so many spots in this movie where there's like red or blue or purple that's just like reflecting off of people's skins. And just the level of detail there and just the colors with that HDR, with that Dolby Vision, it all popped in just a way that no other movie can pop. Like this, like if you want a movie in 4K, like this is the movie to get. This is the movie to get in the 4K format because the colors were just incredible. Like I can see, like there's some movies that, okay, well that certain scene really pops because there's some colors there, there's some colors here. This is like all colors just all the time. Like this movie, it just looks incredible in 4K. So I cannot recommend this upgrade enough. I know you think that the 4K scan on the Blu-ray is good enough, and maybe it is. Like if you don't care about that kind of thing, it's fine. It looks great. It really does. But if you do care about that kind of thing and you want to watch Creepshow in the best possible picture quality, you got to get this 4K because it just looks outstanding. Now, getting into the audio, it is a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. You also get that Mono 2.0 soundtrack as well. I listened to it on the 5.1. Everything sounded great to me. No issues with the audio there. It doesn't necessarily need Dolby Atmos or 7.1 or anything like that. I thought the audio sounded great. So at the end of the day, guys, this is going for $28.99 currently on Amazon to pre-order. Now this comes out on June the 27th. Like I said, I got it in a little bit early from Screen Factory because I pre-ordered, but this is absolutely worth getting. $28.99, like that is a great price point. Like especially if you never even got this, if you're watching this for the first time or you're getting the Screen Factory for the first time, all of these special features that are included here, the actual like 4K scan, the movie's 2 hours long, and it's a great horror movie, one of the greatest horror movies of the 1980s. And you're not going to get this artwork unless you pre-order from Screen Factory. I will also link that down below if you want this artwork, but you'll still get the original poster artwork on the slipcover right there if you order off of Amazon. I just think it's a great package, and this has it all, guys. I think it's 100% worth it. If you love Creepshow, if you want to watch Creepshow in the best possible picture quality, you gotta get this 4K. So there's my review for Creepshow on 4K, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below if you're gonna pick up this 4K. What do you think of Creepshow? Let me know in that comment section below. Turn on the bell notifications for all future videos and reviews. I've got plenty of them coming up for sure. And follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.